Here we are. We're 2 minutes and 19 seconds in. 2 minutes and 19 seconds of nothing that the audience probably won't hear. Isn't that great?
Is that incorrect?
Yes, I do. As if I wouldn't.
God bless you.
Welcome everybody
Shut the fuck up.
to In the Buff.
Here we are.
Did we get room noise?
Scott, Chris, John.
No.
This is all Cody list, so I'm trying to fill out a checklist in my head.
I don't give a shit.
We haven't been a 3-person in a while.
I don't give a shit what Cody wants because
Have we ever been a 3-person?
Yeah, I remember I had a horrible throat problem. And then we talked about
surgery about that?
No, we had fan theories. We talked about fan theories in that one episode. And it was the thumbnail of the goblin on the TV.
Yeah.
Because
was that the goblin one?
You erased my Super Smash Brothers data. Comments, huh?
I told you we were gonna forget something.
What do you have comment?
I hope.
I'm looking.
There's a couple.
One of these days, the House of Leaves episode will come out. It's not today. Or tomorrow.
Or the next day.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Maybe the day after.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
What, with me?
In particular.
What?
I feel like you're flapping in the wind because Cody's not here.
So,
I feel
in
safe.
the buff.
We're supposed to be naked. I hope I'm not flapping in the wind.
Supposed to be.
Are you not? Wait, who's not naked?
I'm looking right at him and he looks pretty naked.
Stand up. Show me your hands.
You're ruining the illusion!
All right. In the buff, episode 40. I don't know how to say this word. A soiree of dragons. Is that right?
Soiree.
Soiree.
Is that soiree? That's really how it's spelled?
Yep.
I've never seen it spelled.
It's retarded. Welcome to English.
Jesus Christ.
It's not even English. It's French.
Dealey Griff said, I never thought I'd hear Chris enjoy RP.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy RP that episode?
I did.
Good for you. Monty Cool God 5343. How to Train Your Dragon budget version.
Yeah, I agree.
There were no dragons being trained in this episode. In fact, a lot of people died.
That's why it's a budget version.
Oh.
We tried our best to train the dragon. Dragon trained us.
Kafol 7240. We should have a bake sale for the channel.
Who's that piece of shit?
Why do you need to have 7240? Is there other people, but is there 7,239 other Kafols?
It just gave it to me. I don't know. I don't
That's how the name Kafol came up?
No.
Oh.
That's how the numbers came up. I chose Kafol.
Here's something interesting. Discord. Recently you had to choose your tag or whatever in Discord because they're getting rid of the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have to change anything. I'm the only one.
You're the only one.
Same.
I didn't have to change anything about my name.
I haven't seen that message yet.
I got it a long time ago. So.
All right. Roger TXR 388 +1 to the video essay. And also, Reese needs Arcanus Anonymous.
Oh, a video essay of House of Leaves.
Mm-hmm.
What's Arcanus Anonymous? Oh, because you're addicted.
Yeah.
Yep. Final Fantasy X, Titus Celestial Weapons Guide, Khalidbog from Lynch69 Can't get this guy to move off the hill, and I have a sigil and crest. What do I do?
What do you do? What does he do?
I know how this goes. I'm gonna start to say, and you're like, maybe just leave a comment. I haven't forgotten. That's stuck hardcore in my brain. But now you're putting me in a spot where I have to answer them. And I don't like this.
We can make shorts from comments. So we can answer all of their comments as shorts.
Like, to where?
Yes.
Is that the last one?
That's all I got.
That's great.
That was the last one?
I hope he solves his fucking Final Fantasy problem.
It's pretty simple. All he has to do is just win one more Chocobo race, but don't get a perfect score.
Great. It's that simple.
It's that simple.
You heard it here first.
It's that simple.
Or maybe you just looked up your problem on Google and immediately solved it rather than relying on some fuckers on a YouTube channel who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
For slubby nerds.
I know what I'm doing. That's about the only thing I know what I'm doing.
Debatable. Okay. All right. Hey.
There's cough number 1. Cleared throat number 4. Chris, I expect you to keep track of this.
When you're making Euclidean geometry.
What are we talking? Clits?
There are straight lines.
Yes.
I thought they were circles.
More than one straight line, that's non-Euclidean.
Euclidean. Is that some sort of race?
Euclidean.
No, that's a person.
Euclidean. So I did hear you
His
right.
name is Euclid.
Oh.
He was this Greek mathematician.
When they're straight lines, they intersect eventually. And at those intersections, what do we find?
Angles?
Cross. Jesus, we're talking about Jesus.
We're
I'm getting
talking
my
about
moment.
Jesus.
Yay!
We're talking about corners. Corners happen when angles happen.
Corners have nothing to do with Jesus.
Are you kidding me?
There's 4 corners in the cross.
When he was a corpse, he would have been sent to a coroner.
They didn't exist back then.
Prove it.
I guess there's 12 corners in a cross. Counting with God.
I only counted 10.
You only counted 10. Wait, how'd you get 10?
How do you lose 2? What 2 did you miss?
Wait, it's also a 3-dimensional shape.
It's a sphere.
Oh, fuck.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
So
8,
we just
9,
get
10,
24
12,
then.
56,
Or, I don't fucking know.
24.
All right, great. You know what else has to do with Jesus? The 4th of July.
Yes.
When he founded this nation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God bless America.
1776. There's at least 2 corners there.
Hey. Can I just say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody's not here.
Yeah, we already
Cody isn't
established that.
here.
And also, even with non-Euclidean geometry, you can have corners.
Yeah.
If 2 circles are... It's a corner.
Yeah, of course.
2 breasts make a corner. 2 corners.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Whose corner is it today?
Yours.
Oh, fuck.
It's your corner.
All right. Well, that's crazy, dude. That's fucking nuts. You guys got anything for my corner?
So speaking of crosses and corners, I've started CrossFit.
It's Chris's corner. Chris, here we go.
Chris's CrossFit corner.
How
Look
long
at
did
the initiative.
Hold on.
I know, right?
How long did it take Chris to mention CrossFit? We started 2 minutes in.
6.5 minutes.
Jesus Christ. Chris, you can't go 6 minutes without talking about CrossFit.
I'm really enjoying it.
I can tell.
It has a great community. I feel like I've joined a cult.
Yeah?
I was just talking to John about how the one thing I know about CrossFit is that it's a meme that it's a cult.
Yeah. No, that's true.
You know?
It just is. But everyone's really nice there, and they're very supportive. And I deadlifted 125. I'm proud of that. I do.
Does that mean you died while doing it? Or?
Yes. They had to bring me back.
He died before, did the lift, and then they resuscitated him afterwards.
Right.
Like Jesus.
Yeah. Just like Jesus.
Like swole Jesus.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a controversial episode, huh?
A little bit. Oh, I
almost said
rock
something
climbing.
really bad.
Oh,
I almost
no.
said something really bad.
I also went rock climbing with Cody, which is why he's not here.
Oh.
Wait. You killed Cody?
No, he said he had rock climbing today.
When did he say that?
Yesterday when we had game.
Oh, I don't... If he's not DMing, I'm not really listening to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said something about going to, like...
Oh, he said something about going to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
I fell a bunch when I was rock climbing with him because I have horrible upper body strength. So my arms can't support my weight currently.
You'll get there.
Just
keep CrossFitting.
Also, I had to belay for Cody, which is pretty much holding the rope while he climbs.
Like the D&D monster?
If he slips, I'll catch him. No. That is something totally different. It's like a big metal dog.
That's
Belay.
pretty cute. That sounds pretty cute.
Or a land shark. Those
I've
are very
always
different.
liked the description of land shark.
But the thing
I think
is,
land shark is more fun.
11 minutes in.
I rolled a nat 1 on my use device check.
I love when he does this about stuff in real life.
Yeah.
Because
I love that.
Cody's at the top, and he's like, all right, I'm ready to come down. And so I go to the position to let him down, and the rope gets caught in the mechanism and doesn't go. So he's stuck up there.
And that's where he is now.
I guess
Well, I got
I'm
help.
confused. Like,
Yes, I
Is
am.
this rope just like wrapped around his waist? And then where does it go from there?
So
Like how's it keeping him from just falling to the ground
So he has an
immediately?
aftermarket harness. Because he's really into this
I'm gonna
subject.
need you to like explain to me like I'm a fucking retard.
All right. So
Like.
pretty much, you have these straps that are connected to each other, and one of them's a belt, and the other two go down your thighs.
That sounds
Alright.
pretty hot.
So pretty much, when you're ready to come
Sounds
down,
like it rides up in your nuts.
you go into a more like a wedgie.
Okay.
So when you squat down, and you're holding and you're wanting to come down off the wall, it pretty much acts like a seat, and then it connects you to the rope. So it's tied in the front. So I had to learn how to knot.
Where your dick's at?
I had to learn how to make knots.
Just use the force on it.
You did. You should have joined Boy Scouts. We learned how to make knots there.
I've forgotten everything.
I have to.
And then he climbs, and I pull the rope, so there's no slack. So if he does fall, he doesn't fully fall to the ground.
So if he falls, are you like pulling his body weight through the rope?
So there is a lock mechanism that the rope goes through.
Okay.
And it should be able to catch his weight.
Hmm.
I'm just there to help make sure it goes well.
Okay.
And it didn't. It didn't. It jammed up on me, and I panicked for a little bit. And Cody's like, I'm ready to come down. And I look around me, and there's some more experienced climbers around me, and one of them is just standing at a rope with nobody. I'm like, hey, buddy, can you help me here? It's kind of jammed. And he's like, yeah, man, I got you. Which everyone's really nice there too. It makes me want to go back and climb more.
So that was the end.
I'm
Cody
very
got down after
susceptible
that.
to cult activity. I realized about this week.
Flirty fishing. He's going to get flirty fished. You shouldn't
Dude.
move.
Chris, man, actually, listening to all that, you are definitely going to lose your kidney to the black market.
Not even that. I think if you like go to a place that even has a Scientology center near, you're just fucked.
Is there one in Dayton?
God, I hope not. God, I hope
We'll
not.
have to look that up.
I have
So
the
that
computer here.
Was that the whole climbing experience?
Yeah,
Did you not hop on the wall?
I did. I went up by the rope about halfway. I was like 20. I was not 20 feet. I was like 14 feet in the air because I stopped
I'll give you
less
the 20.
than halfway.
I'll give you the 20.
You'll give me the 20? I stopped halfway because of my fear of heights and the fact that my arms were like, dude, if we go any more, you are dropping. And I'm like, all right, Cody, let me down, because he was belaying for me. And so I couldn't allow myself to just sit and let the rope take my weight. And then when I tried to, I heard something go, like start tearing. And I'm like, okay, this equipment's not rated for me. It just isn't. So
I can't stop looking at your teeth.
my please stop. My legs, my feet slip from their holds and I slam into the wall. But then they get me down and I'm like, okay, how about is there anything else that doesn't go so high? And he's like, well, there's bouldering. And I'm like, what is bouldering, Cody? I'm a dumbass. What is bouldering? And he's like, well, so you see how big the panels are? They're 4x4s. And I'm like, Cody, you're being Kyle. You're explaining things that you don't need to explain.
Do you think either of them find it an insult to be called the other one?
Yeah.
Yes. And he's like, so you're only allowed to go like 12 feet up, and we don't use ropes, and there's a totally different scale for them. I'm like, all right, let's try that. So he takes me over to an area where it goes upside down, right? And you're using you're crawling like Spider-Man. I was watching Cody do it. I'm like, you're fucking Spider-Man, dude. How am I supposed to do this shit?
Oh, he's Sleazy Steve.
Oh yeah, that's right. Anyway, I found that much more fun.
Also, Cody, if you're listening, I know you're not going to because you're not in this episode.
Mm-hmm. That's why
we
it's
are
safe to
just
call him Kyle.
all about that food right now.
What food?
What food? Ah,
Oh.
yes. I had tuna and vegetables before we started. And I'm like, dude, I could never do this. But he was showing me some stuff, and that's when I went up a wall that was at a 45-degree angle. And my arms gave out when I got to the top of it, so I fell, and I hit my arm on one of the handhelds, and I landed on my feet, to which my legs were like, nah, dude. So they gave out, and I then landed on my knees, and then my back was like, dude, we're not staying upright. Fuck you. So then I go backwards, and I just hear my back go... and Cody's like, are you okay? And I don't know why he was so concerned. So I like to think it's because of you guys. Like, well, now the whole reason we went to the Astral Sea is to get Sven, Chris's character. So if Chris can't play anymore because he's dead, because he went rock climbing with you.
Chris.
Half the reason.
That's half the reason we went to the Astral Sea. You can't leave Balkner out like that. I mean, honestly, if you died in real life, we'd still go to the Astral Sea and save Balkner.
And Sven.
And Sven.
So...
Go ahead.
No.
Chris, you've survived tougher, is what this is telling me. I believe in you.
Thank you, Halls.
That cough drop rapper. Chris,
that's why I love
Scott,
Dove
are you all right?
chocolates.
Yeah. I just, it was a great story.
You know that about Dove chocolates?
What?
All the Dove chocolates, those little square ones that you get in a bag, all have like little motivational things on them. Because they're always like, you can do it, queen, because they're all meant for women, because it's Dove chocolate.
I can be a queen.
I can be a queen, too.
I don't want to be a queen.
I've also learned this week that all older gay men call younger gay men baby.
I've been reading a lot about breast mutilation.
Yeah.
What?
You want to go further on that?
Just so you know,
Why?
because I was researching a serial killer group called the Chicago Rippers,
Oh, okay.
and they were super into breast mutilation,
That's,
and it's fucked up.
yeah.
I wish I hadn't learned about it.
You want to share? For the audience?
It's just really fucked up. If you're interested, breast
Not.
mutilation. Also, they were operating in the same area at the same time as John Wayne Gacy.
Really?
So some people think, and John Wayne Gacy owned I don't know if he owned it, but he was part of a construction company, like a contracting firm. And there's a lot of people who think that John Wayne Gacy had associates in his line of work, quote unquote.
Is that the clown?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was from Ohio.
No. Jeffrey Dahmer's from Ohio, but he did all his killing in Wisconsin.
Yeah, alright.
So, that's also really interesting. I'm going to hard left here.
Yeah.
The one thing I really wanted to share today was my 4th of July. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's your corner.
We all know what 4th of July is, right?
It's John's corner.
Like,
Can you explain the concept of 4th of July to me?
Oh, yeah. So, you know England? The country?
Yeah.
Alright, fuck them.
Okay.
Okay? That's basically 4th of July.
Right.
It's goddamn American independence.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've learned, well, actually, I kind of knew this, but I've been seeing it surface a lot. A lot of people are just like, why the fuck are we celebrating the United States' birthday? Like, fuck this country. What has it done for us? And I'm like, I live here. I've enjoyed my life for the most part.
I feel like we were talking about this briefly, and I feel like I made a pretty good point, and it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the right to live comfortably isn't a right. Or it should be a human right, not a national right.
Yeah.
You shouldn't lord it over me that you're able to live comfortably and safely. But I don't think that's what the country does. But I feel like that's what the point of celebrating that I live happily and safely is. Especially when in regard to a national holiday.
That's fair. Well, everybody celebrates the holiday differently. Some people celebrating it by saying it's worthless. Other people celebrate it by doing nothing.
I researched breast mutilation.
And Chris went rock climbing the day after. Because there's nothing more freeing than rock climbing when you're tethered to a harness.
Right.
I did CrossFit the day of.
I went to my brother's house and got drunk. And
God bless him.
my family has a tradition of playing a wiffle ball game.
Okay.
I found out recently, wiffle ball is like one of the widest things a person can do.
Okay.
I shared this experience that I'm about to share with you guys to multiple people that I work with, and there was only 2 people who were like, "Oh yeah, I know what wiffle ball is." Every other person I had to explain to them what it was and like what the rules were a little bit. So I'm assuming you guys don't know.
It's got like a pole and the holy ball, and it's like
baseball, but instead of a baseball, it's a plastic ball and it has holes in it.
It's like the big chunky bat.
Not even that. It doesn't.
You also can't strike out in wiffle ball.
You can.
Oh.
No, you have to be
professional wiffle ball.
You have to be inept enough to strike out.
It's just hard to. All right. We could have cut that cough. You can cut that cough if you want.
Don't cut the cough.
Or just add it.
Count it.
Keep it counting. So, go over to my brother's house, and we're drinking. There's some Jello shots. There's some jungle juice. We're all having a good time. My brother's cooking out.
I haven't had jungle juice
outside
in a while.
And it's it tasted great.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Jungle juice is like 5 or 6 different alcohols mixed with like orange juice, Gatorade, like all these like fruity,
Hawaiian punch.
Hawaiian punch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you chop up some fruit. You chop up some fruit and throw it in there too. Some people add gummy worms.
We made it for your party.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Isn't it all cold?
You can put ice in it.
But I know, but the gummy worms would just get hard.
They're not really.
Okay.
They absorb the alcohol.
So, I get in, I have a few drinks, I have a couple shots of Jello, we're all having a good time, and then we do the wiffle ball tournament. So, for those of you at home that don't know what wiffle ball is, it's like baseball, but like I said, the ball has holes in it. It's a lot easier, ball goes a lot slower. In order to get people out, you either throw it to the base that they're running to, or you hit them with it like dodgeball. The ball itself doesn't hurt.
You hit them with the ball?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And that's essentially it. So we all agree. It's like, hey, it's like 6 o'clock. We all wanted to go see fireworks. We're like, all right, 3 innings. We'll have a good time. We set it up in my brother's backyard where the neighbor's fence was part of the home run line. Then we had a power cord extending to the deck, and then the rest of the deck, and then another power cord to the foul line. So we had a home run fence. Mm-hmm. We had 3 bases. We had a home plate. We had everything set up. People who weren't playing could sit on the deck, so it's like they're trying to catch the home run ball. It was a great time. All right, everything was set up beautifully. So, top of the first. Oh, and also, I guess I should also add, we've now reached an age in our family where, like, the older people are not too old to play the game, but the younger people are getting old enough to be competitive.
Fun. Oh.
So now, the level of competitiveness has skyrocketed this year because we haven't done anything like this since COVID.
Right.
It used to just be you.
No. If you guys think I'm competitive, you haven't met my brothers. I'm probably the least competitive out of my brothers. And that's saying something.
Damn.
So, we have my brother Dave, who's hosting the party. My brother Mike, who is the second oldest one in the family. My sister Lisa, and then me. And that's my immediate siblings. All 3 of them are on the other team. Then there's a couple other adults, and then there's a couple of kids on their team. But there's only like 2 kids here that are like we kind of take it easy on. Everybody else is old enough and has enough motor function to be able to be like, all right, this is serious. We're going to try to get you out. We don't want to lose here. On my team is David's son, might be the first time I've called him David in like my entire life.
Right.
Is Dave's son, who's my team's team captain. He chose my sister's kid, who's like 15 or 16. Sorry, Blaine.
He was that young?
Yeah. And like, besides that, it was mostly other kids and Olinger, who was another adult. But it was like, our average age range was around like 14, 15. And then a 30-year-old. I'm almost 30. Did you know that? I'm almost 30. Great. So, top of the first.
My life is basically over.
Top of the first. Other team hits back-to-back-to-back base hits. Bases get loaded. And then my brother Mike, the second oldest brother of my family, smacks a grand slam, hits it over to the deck. His dad catches it or something, I don't fucking know. He walks around the bases because he's too old to fucking run. He does this weird little shimmy, and I'm like, it took a lot for me not to just hard drop the F word. There's also kids at this event, and I'm sitting there, like, letting him trot around, and I feel a little woozy. Like, I feel the alcohol kicking in. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. I've only had a couple drinks of jungle juice. What was in the shots? That's weird. All right, shake it off. Keep moving. From there on, we get 3 outs. Someone hits a pop fly. We catch it. We threw the ball at somebody before they got to first. And then fucking something else. I don't know. So they're up 4-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go to our bottom of the first inning. And the exact same fucking thing happens. Where it's a base hit, a base hit, a base hit. And then Blaine hits a grand slam to make it 4-4. And I'm like, is this the fucking game we're playing? We just all hit base hits and then a fucking grand... Is this it? Is this really what we're doing? Because this is boring as fuck to me. Oh, also, Carson making the batting order was like, hey, John, you're batting last. And I'm like, why am I batting last? What the fuck? He's like, well, I need to make sure like my best players are back there. I'm like, don't fucking sit here and sugarcoat me. I'm like, do you see the people that are in front of me? I saw what they were swinging like. I'm like, you're fucking cucking me right now, dog. Regardless, I shut up. I dealt with it. It was around that time that Angie, Dave's wife, told me, hey, those shots? Oh, we had like Everclear or something in them. We had like a couple of different things in them. Oh. They're real strong.
So you're like, pretty hammered.
I'm like, oh, no. But the drunk me was like, oh, yeah. We're back, baby. But after we hit the grand slam, we give up 3 outs right away. Go to the next inning, top of the second. Basically, nothing happens. We get another 3 outs, and then we move on to the next inning. Bottom of the second, same thing happens to us. 3 more outs happen, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why are we doing this? The top of the third happens. They get a couple people on, and then somebody beamed my sister with the ball, and we got our first out, and then they grounded out the other 2 times we got a double play. So bottom of the third happens.
Like they hit the ball and it hit her?
No, they hit the ball. Somebody caught it. Somebody threw it at her.
Gotcha.
I think it smacked her in the back of the head.
Gotcha.
Nice.
And bottom of the third happens. We're tied 4-4. And first 2 people get out. And then it's just me. It's just me. Okay? I'm the final out, or else the game's tied. My brother's talking shit. He's pitching the ball. He keeps throwing outside. I'm like, dude.
Oh, you're pitching.
There is pitching happening, yes.
Well.
It's not T-ball.
It's not on like a stick or anything.
That's the one thing I said at the beginning, and you agreed with me.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the bat. Sorry, I apologize. Scott, there's been pitching this whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. So, he keeps throwing it outside. You can't walk anybody in this. But if you swing 3 times and miss, you strike out. So, he throws it. This is the first at-bat I get all fucking game. I'm just sitting there like, I fucking hate Carson for putting me in the fucking back. Are you kidding me? I'm like, this is insulting. And, like, I just see him, like, lob one in there, and I fucking lace it, and it felt like it was gone. That thing left the bat. It was gone from existence. And I'm like, well, see ya. That's the end of the game. And then I just see the air starting to pick it up. And it's going like straight up at this point. I'm like, oh, never mind. That's not going out anymore. And I look to get an idea of where it's falling. And that's what I see. My mom is sitting in a lawn chair by the fire pit in the middle of center field. Just chilling, having a cigarette. And it lands. I round first and I start actually trying to run. And it hits the fire pit and falls under her lawn chair. And the one guy in the area who doesn't really know my mom well enough, it's none of my brothers, I don't even know whose parent it was. But it was the one guy who was like, oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am, I gotta get under here and get this. I'm running to second. And I see him get it and throw it to my brother, who's now standing on top of second. And I'm like, my brother's not about to get me the fuck out. So I dive for second base. And, like, I feel my elbows hit his legs and go with me. And I think he caught the ball. I don't know. But I know he landed on top of me. And, like, I felt all the air forcefully leave my body. And I'm like, well, I can't breathe. This is painful. I'm on top of second base. It's, like, in my stomach. And then my oldest brother, Dave, he, like, says something about cannonball or something, I don't know. And he lands on top of Mike. So now I have, like, 500 pounds of dudes on top of me.
Sounds like a dream.
And, like, if I had any air left in my body, it was gone.
This is why you're coughing.
This is why I'm coughing. Lisa also joined in. So all in all, I probably had like 650 pounds of people on top of me. And like, I felt painful. I didn't feel good. But where I felt pain was like, I had definitely fucking racked myself when I dove on the ground. That was where I felt all the pain. They tried to tell me I was out. I'm like, you're all full of shit. Fuck off. Everybody agreed that I was safe. So I'm like, all right. I'm just gonna sit here for a second. Eventually, Miles was the next batter up. He hit the ball, got me in. We would have won the game. Or we did win the game. We would have won 5-4. You know how my family's competitive?
Yeah.
They were like, well, we still got a lot of time left. We still got time left. Let's play one more inning. Come on, let's keep going. So we get a couple on their base hits, and eventually they get the third out. We're winning 5-4 going into the top of the fourth now. A complete repeat of the very first inning where they get a base hit, and then a grand slam happens. So now it's 8-5. And I'm like, great. Okay. Wow. This is what we do. So everybody dogpiles on me. I don't feel good. I still haven't caught my breath.
Like the third grand slam of the
game. Yeah. Of this fucking wiffleball game. And I'm like, all right. Cool, let's just get this shit going. I'm like, we basically won already. It doesn't fucking count for them. They all can suck my dick.
Right.
Which is hurting at this point.
And yeah, it still wasn't feeling great. So we eventually, I almost took a kid clean out because a pop fly happened. And like, I called out, I'm like, I got it. Fucking, that kid was not listening. They were so tuned into that ball. And like, they were backing up. And I was about to ruin their whole fucking life. But I stopped, like dove away last second, kind of rolled around on the ground because they just were not listening to me. And they didn't even fucking catch the ball.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. All right. Okay, whatever. I'm losing my shit right now.
I'm just reminded of Cody being like, I don't know why I thought this child would catch it.
Dude, I was furious. But I just kind of got up, dusted myself off, and like she walked the ball over to the pitcher. And I'm like, okay, I'm just not even going to make eye contact with you. I can't. She was like maybe like 12 or 13, but you could tell she doesn't really like play softball or anything. And I'm like, you know what? I guess, good job. You almost got it. I'm so happy for you.
He's not competitive though.
I'm not the most competitive, is what I said. So, they go up 8-5. We eventually get the last couple outs, and we go to the batting order. We're losing by 3 in the 4th inning. They're talking about how they got this shit in the bag. I'm like, I will fucking hit somebody right now. Mike is still pitching, and I'm like, I will charge the mound and beat him with this plastic bat to an inch of his life. I swear to God. Like, we won this game. They can shut the fuck up. So, first batter grounds out. They get the ball over to first. First out happens. Then second batter gets on base. Third batter gets on base, and we got a person on second and first. And I forget exactly what happens from this point on, but we scored 1 run, and then we had 2 people on, or we had 3 people on, and Blaine was on third. And for whatever reason, I hope you listen to this, Blaine. You're a fucking idiot.
Okay.
He's on third, and he's like, I can steal home. So, like, he's watching the pitcher run back to, or, like, he's watching Mike, like, walk back to the mound, and he takes off for home. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And, like, he has a mission, all right? And he goes to dive into home plate, and he just gets drilled right in the stomach with the ball. And I'm like, what? I'm coming up to bat, and I'm like, why did you think that was a good idea? And he's like, I thought I could make it. I'm like,
I thought it'd be fun. I'm having fun. It's a game. I'm having fun.
You wouldn't download a pizza. Why would you steal home?
I'm like, dude, okay. I'm like, we are down 3. We were down 2 with 1 out, and the base is loaded. Now you want to just steal home? So that would have made us down 1. Like, we were still losing whether you made it or not. Now we have 2 outs. Now we got that much pressure on me. I'm like, maybe, man, my voice is going.
You're doing great.
I'm like, maybe just think about it a little bit more. I'm like, oh, my back. All this pressure that just got put on my back. And I don't think he could tell I was making a joke, because he was like, hey, Carson, we need to get a pinch hitter in. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, you blonde little creep. I'll fucking kill you.
Not competitive. Not the most.
So
I didn't know you said that to other people.
I'll fucking kill you.
So I get in the batter's box. We got a person on second, a person on first, 2 outs, down 2. I'm the winning run if I can get across. My brother is just talking loads of shit. And I just kind of like stop. I'm like, hey, so we're all agreed. You know, once this third out happens, the game's over, right? We all want to stop playing now, right? That's what we want to do. And he's like, yeah, we all agreed to play 1 more inning. I'm like, that's crazy. Wow. That's so convenient for you guys. And he's like, does that upset you? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe you just read the fucking room. So he throws a few pitches, and they're all outside, and he's trying to just get me to like go for some. And he's like, how about you suck it up and like swing at those? I'm like, how about you suck my dick?
Jesus Christ.
And
how many people are on base right now?
2 people are on base.
So if you get a home run,
if I get a home run, we win. And
he didn't say that competitively.
And like he's like, all right. He's like, then I'll feed you one inside. I'm like, all right, you'll lose. He throws one inside. I just turn around. I felt like the slightest kink in my ribs, but man, I caught that one again, just like the last one. Except this time, like, I watched it. It probably was in the air for like 2 seconds before it hit the top of the building, the top of their house. And I just like flip the bat to the side. My brother looks back at me. I'm like, there's a souvenir for your dad. And I start rounding the bases. And he just kind of like looks at me. He's like, damn. And I'm not going to lie. I never hit a home run in all the time that I played baseball. I came close twice. But one of the times there wasn't actually a home run fence because we played on the most garbage field I've ever seen.
Right.
But I've never hit an actual home run in a game. That's the closest I will ever come in my life. And that is a top 15 moment for John. Was rounding the bases. Everybody that was on the field that was playing defense, as soon as it left the bat, they all just stopped, turned around, started to walk towards the deck like they were done playing. And I could tell Mike was pretty upset that he lost. I was no longer mad. But he was like,
fuck fuck, Mike?
Like, I could tell that he was, like, pretty disappointed that he lost. And, like, he was standing at home base waiting for me to, like, cross the plate and finish the game. And when I got there, he was like, he reached his hand out to shake my hand. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'm like, good game, bro. And he's like, yeah, good game. And I'm like, you all right? He's like, I'll get your ass next year. And I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens.
And then you limped home.
So then we continued on the rest of our night. Actually, this is the same shirt I was wearing. You see how this is light gray? This is like a gray shirt. It was a dark gray near black shirt by the end of the day.
Sweat.
There was that much sweat on it. So I finally ate a little bit of food and started to sober up some, and then we went to go see the fireworks. Fireworks were fantastic. I will always be a little kid when fireworks are going off.
I thought you weren't going to add anything to that.
He will always be a little kid.
Because, like, I will always be a little kid. But no, like, when we got there, we huffed, like, fucking...
Paint?
No. We huffed it for, like, probably, like, half a mile, or maybe a mile, to get to the park to watch the fireworks, which isn't really that bad, except I was carrying 3 fucking bag chairs and a child.
Yeah.
And so once we finally got there, I could sit down and relax. And it was when the fireworks started where I was like, man, these just aren't hitting it for me anymore. Like, fireworks are actually kind of boring. And it was just, as it ramped up, I'm like, oh, I mean, I'm enjoying myself, I guess. There was a fight that started by the bathroom because the line was too long. That was cool.
People gotta piss, you know? What are you gonna do?
What park?
Delco Park in Kettering. And then, like, once the fireworks really started to kick off, I was just like, it was like the Sandlot where, like, all the kids just become mesmerized by the fireworks and, like, everybody just stops paying attention to the game. And I'm like, this is nice. I've forgotten everything about myself for the last 2 minutes.
It's the concussions.
It was probably and all the flashing lights. It was really just reigniting the concussions.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. But it wasn't until we got back, I had a little bit more food, and then I got in my car to go home, that I realized that there was just an incredible amount of discomfort in my rib cage. And, like, I was on Skype or on Discord with you, and I was just telling you, I'm like, I cannot find a comfortable position. I'm like, okay, lean like one arm against the window. Nah, this ain't doing it. All right, both aren't. Nope, I can't have both hands on the steering wheel right now. This is terrible. And then, like, I started to develop that cough.
Yeah.
This cough.
Yeah.
That cough right there.
That one we just heard.
Like, my first day back to work, like, on Wednesday, fucking, yeah, I know. I mean, Cody tuned out half an hour ago.
Dude, are you okay?
I'm so tired.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm sorry my stories bore you, Chris.
It's not even you in your
it's
story.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't know.
You want a cough drop? Anyways.
Too many calories.
So, like, I started to develop this cough, and I learned from when my car wreck happened, like, coughing with bruised and broken ribs and a punctured lung is not fun. Yeah. It's terrible. So, like, for, like, last, like, 5 days, I've just been, like, hugging my rib cage whenever a cough or a sneeze starts to happen. And to make matters worse, I bit the fuck out of my tongue while I sneezed the other day. And, like,
falling apart.
Like, I felt the pain. It was a sharp pain. And I immediately tasted blood. And, like, I just, like, stuck my finger to, like, take a look at it. And my finger was, like, a fucking full-on red down to the knuckle. So, anyways, that was my 4th of July.
Great.
It was incredible. I hit a home run, a walk-off home run. I told my brother to fuck off, basically. That's always nice.
Right.
We made a joke about having, like, a wall of fame, where my Dave and Carson put their football pictures up. And I'm like, this isn't even baseball related, but whatever. They're like, you know what? For that, you're going to get added to the Hall of Fame. I'm like, fuck yeah. Let's go. That's cool.
And they just took a picture of you. Like, holding your side, tongue to your left.
They're like, I'm holding like a tissue full of blood or something.
Wow, look at that.
Such a majestic
My shirt is just drenched in sweat. Oh man, it was an incredible adventure. It was everything I wanted my 4th of July to be.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Well, I don't do shit for 4th of July. Chris?
I had a pound of tilapia.
That's awesome.
You had a pound of fish? Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys, we gotta limp this one in, huh?
How far in are we?
46 minutes.
That's fine. It's a small episode.
Well, you know what? Chris, Scott,
John,
Cody,
Chris,
Kyle,
Andy.
Speaking of Andy, and Arcanist Anonymous, or whatever the fuck Kyle said, Reese is no longer addicted to magic.
Yeah.
Hooray.
A weird frog man saved him.
He did.
Yeah.
There's that cough again.
And Sven's alive.
Sven is alive.
A weird water
More
person
importantly-
saved him.
Goo.
More importantly, Sven is alive for fucking free.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It didn't cost us shit. So, like, we could have just killed Reese and then just brought him back, and maybe that fixed his magic problem.
I'm gonna pose this to the audience. The reason this whole adventure started was we were in the bottom of the bank of holding. And they got like bags of holding. They had extra dimensional space and shit. And we solved the issue there. We were about to leave, and I, Tybalt, looked around at everyone and said, "Hey, I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. This is a democracy here. We could get a lot of money from stealing some of the stuff that's down here." We looked around, and we all together decided, correct, that no, we're just gonna leave. Right?
I wasn't gonna take anything.
Chris?
Oh god, I started joking on the water.
Oh, I've been doing CrossFit lately.
He couldn't CrossFit that water in his throat.
He keeps using that same joke.
It'll hit
Oh,
eventually.
you couldn't CrossFit this dick in your mouth.
That's a fucking good one, bro.
It's like eating a hot dog the wrong way. No.
Sideways?
Yeah.
No,
That's the
just,
wrong way.
just rotate a little bit.
Here's the thing. It's not between me and Sven and you. Sven has nothing to do with this.
I'm asking about specifically what I just said.
Sven didn't.
You were there.
I know Sven didn't. Want
I
this
said,
to
"Hey, I know it could help us a lot. Are we doing that?" No. Okay. All right. Then let's go. Let's loot their bodies, because we had just beat the Snake Fantastic Four. Snake-tastic Four. And we were looting their bodies, and I specifically looked at Cody and said, "I'm going to watch Bulkner." And I just rolled one under Bulkner's, Bulkner rolled a sleight of hand or something. I rolled literally one under, and so Tybalt didn't see it. He stole an interdimensional space, and he didn't realize it, and then he put that interdimensional space in Sven's backpack, which was also an interdimensional space, which then collapsed in on itself and sent the two of them to the astral sea.
And that's why the astral sea arc happened to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Tybalt and Bulkner got into a slight argument. Tybalt, I get the impression as well that Bulkner has been sitting on this. He's like, he's going to come fucking at me. He's going to come at me, and I need to,
I need to be ready.
I need to be ready and come at him even harder. And I felt that. So I'm like, you go first. And he went first. And he told Tybalt how he felt. And then I legitimately was the whole thing I was gonna say to him was, how could you have possibly foreseen this happening? obviously I can't in good conscience blame you. Like, if it had been me who had taken it, how could I have thought that me taking a tablecloth would cause that and all of this strife? And I was gonna say that and be like, we did this for you, not because of you. So, you're back. Let's continue moving forward. That's what I was gonna say.
See, that surprises me, because I thought it was going to be much more stern and, like, not necessarily a punishment, but, like, there was going to be more heat to it.
Well, it's easy for there to be heat on it when we're still in the thick of it. When we're still in the shit, like, we're not back home and safe. But that conversation happens on the drive back, and we're safe. We're just going home. We're out. We are not in danger from anything astral or stupid or otherwise. And it's hard to be mad when you're just like, it's all over. We're all safe. We're all here. Sure, Sven died. And I'm sure he's already feeling pretty fucking guilty about that. But I mean, what am I going to say to him? I don't want to make him feel worse. He already knows it's his fault. I don't think anybody would argue that. Would you? Would you argue for a second that it is anyone but Balkner's fault?
No.
And it's like barely his fault in my opinion. But it's just no one else's.
Yeah. I guess like, I think Reese would hesitate to agree that it's his fault. And he would probably try to play a middle person. Like, because like, you look back at the mistake that Reese made, where if it turned out well, it's a good thing. But it turned out poorly, and it made everybody look bad. So, I mean, who knows? Like, if we just walked away with those and everything was fine, there's no consequence that happens with that.
I so like the idea. So in the argument, it was more like he said a lot of stuff to Tybalt, and then Tybalt's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're back. Thanks for telling me how you feel. I disagree." And that was it. And in the stuff that he was saying, he was just like, it's like he was detailing all of Balkner's observations about Tybalt, like the kind of person he thinks Tybalt is. And like from the get-go, I've always kind of been pretty upfront with the way Tybalt is, because he's just a really upfront guy. He doesn't even... The sad fact of it is, he's not that complex, because there's not a lot going on. He was raised to do the job he's doing, basically. And he wants to succeed at the job he's doing, because he feels like that's what he's supposed to do, I guess. But there are little moments throughout, especially in his backstory, where he gets to be a person, but you guys barely ever see that person. And so it's like Balkner saying all that shit is pretty rough. Like, he was saying, like, you're the kind of guy who, I've worked for people like you before. You're nothing special. You're the kind of guy who just says a thing and expects it to happen. Even when you don't say it, you expect it to happen. And I know what you expected to happen. You expected me to move forward, push the party forward. And so I stole those tablecloths. It was just something as simple as that. And I kind of like that it is that simple. I like that it turned big. Don't get me wrong. But I like that it started that simple with, oh, he wants me to steal this shit because, I mean, we need money.
Mm-hmm. He can't say that he wants to steal shit because that's not something he's allowed to say.
But at the end of the day, I wouldn't, like, if you're going to steal something, why the fuck to steal some tablecloths?
Also,
they look really fine.
Also, why not? We're in a whole ass room of magical items. Why not just go up to Reese and be like, hey, you think you can identify this?
Yeah. And
just like, I mean, we weren't even in your presence at the time because you were, Tybalt was staying at his parents' or his mom's house or whatever. Yeah. Like, everything would have been perfectly fine. But no.
I still love that you're on
Jesus
your phone.
Christ, sit forward.
Sorry.
How hard is it to just do this? Look at me. Look, hey, I'm right next to you. I'm in your ear, audience. Isn't that great?
My back hurts when I do it.
As if mine doesn't?
I still love the fact that it's...
So Cody's the one who keeps us from fighting, huh?
I'll fucking kill you!
I love the fact that Reese is just on his bunk, and then freaking Andreas goes off to get wine to celebrate the fact that we just stopped the attack on the city, and then Balkner comes up to Sven and just like, hey, put this in the bag. And he's like, okay, friend. And you, John, just a black hole explosion in the fucking bunk room. And then you're just like, what?
Oh,
and then Balkner comes back holding the wine.
You mean Andreas?
Andreas comes back holding the wine. Like, what happened?
So,
we were going to
to give everybody the quick TLDR, we cured Reese's magic problems, and then we've now made it back to the material plane. And we're trying to figure out how we can get back, because our one person who doesn't speak, or who speaks Japanese, Rotasanese, didn't come with us. They decided they wanted to stay, which is a problem we knew was going to happen, but we just never took the time to figure it the fuck out.
Also, there was a sleeping worm. There was a worm that was asleep, and we crept up to it and fucking clocked its whole life away.
That was incredible.
Doesn't Andreas have speak language?
Yeah, but he doesn't have it prepared.
Comprehend language?
No, I have comprehend language. He can make it so we can speak it.
Comprehend language is just so you can understand stuff.
Yeah.
They don't understand him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. It's the
We
same
have to use
thing
2
as
spells.
the one guy writes and one guy reads.
It kinda. One guy speaks it, one guy understands it.
What's
but
the
he
name
can
of the spell that lets you speak it?
Speak
I
language.
don't remember.
I mean, if you speak it, you understand it.
I don't know.
I say shit.
I know
don't understand
Cody
all the
had
time.
us. Cody had us last time when we tried to order fucking ramen. That I ritual cast it so that I could understand it. I would tell him what we wanted, and then he would order it.
I know that's kind of what happened when I was in the, like, there was a brief moment where I was sequestered in the Rotasan jail, the Astral Sea, and they could understand me, but I couldn't understand them because I knew that they were speaking a language I couldn't understand.
Yep.
Dude. So, man, I kind of wish Reese didn't have such a good con score.
Yeah.
Because, I wanted to fail some stuff. I wanted to fail it and, really put us on edge. But I also just didn't expect everybody to go to the fucking bar, right? So, Reese's plan was, okay, we go to the bar. Reese can, suck the magic out of people.
For some reason.
For some reason. I really couldn't tell you why.
Hopefully it's gone now.
And there was a beholder there named Zemo.
Hopefully not.
And I'm like, I bet with all the magic he shoots out and all that crazy shit, I'm like, I bet he's pretty nuts. So I just want to get a hand on him. Dude, the nice little, when everybody walked in, oh, friends, hey! Grab onto him real quick. Bro. But fucking everybody went there. And somehow you get there first, I'm like, if it's just Andreas, I can figure something out. But if the whole goddamn group is here...
What did you want to do?
So, I wanted to go in. I was going to tell him, hey, I have some private stuff that I want to tell Lubash. I was going to give Lubash the full suck. I was going to try to, suck him the fuck out,
Come
dog.
On. You do that to Lubash?
I was going to give it a shot.
Oh my god.
But I just wanted to say goodbye to him.
For the last time.
Yep. That was my game plan there. And I wanted to see, Reese would have wanted to see what it was like to give the big suck to a beholder. Turns out, too much for Reese to handle. Beholders are too big for little boys.
Also, we got to the Cody gets to have no fun level.
Yeah.
I hit level 7, and I'm a rune knight. And at level 7, I get another rune and an ability called Runic Shield. The rune I picked was the Cloud Rune, and Runic Shield, basically, both of those abilities are things that just say to the DM, oh, you rolled well against us? Actually, you didn't. You rolled well against yourself.
Yep. Dude, that is so scary. We are so strong now.
And we're not even done leveling up. We're going to get to level 8.
Yep. Like, I'm trying to understand, like, what can Cody do as an encounter that can actually start to deal with that, other than just overloading with enemies?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can control 10 rolls or however much we talked about, but, like, after that, then what, you know?
Like, the proper way to explain the situation to the audience, the Cloud Rune, the reason I could have picked arguably it's better, but I just played a Barbarian in the previous campaign. And the rune I could have picked was the Hill Giant Rune, which is, for a minute, I have resistance.
Sorry, I thought I covered.
No, it just went all over my forearm.
Well,
Great.
I apologize.
For a minute, you have resistance to non-magic damage, and that's pretty strong. That's pretty fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for Tybalt, who's in the thick of it, right? So, but I just played a Barbarian in the last campaign, so I wanted something slightly different, even though I'm playing a fucking fighter again in John's game. I picked the Cloud Rune, which is whenever you or somebody within 30 feet of you gets hit by an attack, I can use my action to say, actually, no, that same attack is instead hitting this person within 30 feet of me. So...
And you get 1 with the Cloud Rune, and then 3 with the other one?
And the Runic Shield is whenever somebody rolls an attack within 60 feet of me, I can be like, I don't like that you just rolled a 20, or I don't like that you rolled high, You have disadvantage on that roll. And you have to take the second one.
And you just get 3 of those.
I get 3 of those per day.
That's nuts.
But with the Cloud Rune in particular, I picked that because I'm just in love with the scenario of a big monster fucking crits one of us, and I'm like, actually, no, you crit that guy.
Your friend.
Yeah. And just, I love the optics of that.
Mm-hmm.
I also just love the way it looks in my head where, like, imagine a guy with a sword comes to stab you, and the sword does in fact go through you, but instead of, it like hits a cloud, and you'd expect it to go through your back, but actually it just disappears, and you see the sword go through some other dude's back.
Like, you're playing a Portal game.
Yeah.
It's nuts, dude. Like, having that, and then Andreas can also cancel out, like, multiple crits a day.
2, I think.
I think it's 2, yeah. So you can just say, hey, you didn't get a crit. That's just a normal hit. And then Reese has 2 stored rolls, plus he has Lucky. So whenever somebody hits him, he can just make him re-roll that.
Yeah.
And then he also has the ability to make people re-roll attacks or saving throws, like, as a reaction. With Silvery Barbs. So we are so fucking stacked with the amount of making Cody re-roll. And it's like...
There's going to be moments where we're like, do you want me to do this one?
Yeah.
You want me to...
Yep.
I'd prefer to have my reaction on my turns. You do this one.
Yep. And it's like, dude, this is disgusting.
We're going to have to, like... Maybe that's the way to nerf it, is that we don't get... That seems like pretty extreme table talk, being like, do you want me to do this one? Yeah.
What, like, if we both say we're going to do it, then both people use it?
Sure.
Yeah, we can talk to Cody about that. Cody, you want...
Oh. He seems distant. I can smell him.
What time are we at?
We're at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Alright, that's good enough for me. Is that good enough for you guys?
It's never good enough.
I'm a little bit worried about Cody, so I guess I'm going to go find him. I'll see you guys later.
All right. Did he expect us to end it?
I don't know.
Bye,
John.
He just kind of flew away. I didn't know he could do that.
It was with his dick, too.
Yeah, like a helicopter.
Like Tails.
Tails uses their tails.
Oh.
Their name is Miles Tails Prowler. Like miles per hour.
Goodbye, everybody.
Farewell. Sonic's name is Ogilvy Maurice.